Dear friends, today Miss Rinki Arora ma'am is with us. Now I'm inviting Miss Rinki Arora ma'am. Welcome ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, the function of education is therefore to teach everyone to think intensively and critically. Intelligence plus character is undoubtedly the goal of education, as quoted by Martin Luther King, who is a very well known for his oratorical skills, someone who fought for the rights for the black, and undoubtedly, education is one of the tools, the weapons that we can use to see the changes in the society, in the world, which we desire to. So, good evening, everyone. I welcome each one of you on the final day of the 7-day online training program on Be a Leader Who Matters. And it's another day, new learning, a new day to create a better version of yourself. So I thank each one of you for your time, your efforts you have invested in, for your consistency. And always remember that the journey to 1,000 miles begins with one step, and you all are one step closer to achieving success, to achieving the goals that you have, aspire to, the person that you aspire to become. So congratulations. And today we will be discussing ICT in leadership. And the agenda for today would be like understanding digital divide, the new education policy and the role of technology, and to understand the role of technology in educational leadership. So starting with today's session, the first one that I'd like to discuss with you all is digital divide. Digital divide in the simplest terms can be defined as an unequal distribution in terms of the accessibility, in terms of usability, and in terms of the influence of the digital resources that we have, like the net, the internet, and various other digital devices, if among the people who are actually divided on the basis of parameters like social, geographical, or geopolitical parameters. Like geopolitical, if I say, it includes the industrial relationships, the various trade agreements or treaties come into the picture. So in the simplest term, digital divide can be said as the disparity that exists between the people who have access to the digital resources and the ones who don't, right? So it is divided into three types. And why do we see digital divide? Because of poverty and other economic restrictions that we have. And economic divide would be, like as the name suggests, on the basis of the economic sanctions, as in the tariff, the trade barriers, various policies, as in which divide one geography with the other, and usability device, as in usability divide, which basically means that you are not able to comprehend the complex functionalities of the technology. Hence, you lack that proper digital literacy. That is why you're not able to utilize the technologies. And empowerment divide, people are unaware of how to utilize their technological resources to empower themselves, right? So that is why during the COVID period, when we saw a technological disruption, when actually everyone was forced to use technology, that is when we realized that's how well we could have used it. YouTube is there since 2005, but we see a lot of YouTubers now. Why were that that number was not there? The number has actually increased during this COVID period because we were not aware of how to use the technology that we have. So I hope I'm clear with what is digital divide. As far so far it's clear, right? Digital divide, basically the difference that exists between the people who are using it and the ones who are not, who have that accessibility, who have that influence of technology. And yes, there is a difference between the percentage of men and women using it. In today's time, also the mobile is spreading. The use of mobile is spreading, but there are still the percentage of males using is more than females. But it is still there. Like the question which I have for you is, will the digital divide eventually vanish? So it is expected to vanish, it is expected to decrease, but it'll take time, as in it is things we are working on it. It is happening. Okay. We have very less number today. I think maybe because of the change in time that we had. That is why I see a little less number, but that's okay. So yes, this was digital divide. Now, if I talk of what is the role of ICT in education, that is information and communication technology in education. Number one, it will help in increasing the teaching effectiveness. Now, how will that happen? When you include technology to your conceptual framework, the comprehensive level increases. When I was talking about immersive learning, when I talk of smart classes, when I talk of whiteboard, when I say these things, the videos, the animation, the PPT, all these basically help in increasing the entire classroom teaching process. Why? Because it leaves a profound impact on the learners, as in whatever you are teaching them with the help of an animation or with the help of a PPT. For example, if I take this lecture with no video, with no PPT, I'm 100% sure nobody would be, would be that much engrossed or would be interested in continuing, because you are not actually connected with the trainer, with the instructor. You're not able to connect, and then it's just going on like a speech which is going on. So that kind of creates a monotony, which will not help in retaining the employee, which will not help in retaining the students. So when there is no retention in terms of your memory, in terms of your presence, obviously the entire process will be a waste, right? So that is why we make use of technology. We make use of interactive modes and methods so that our entire teaching process becomes more effective, right? And then I also wanted to share a few more things. I'll come to that. And yes, now, when I talk of ensuring active participation, likewise, the enhancing teaching effectiveness, adding more to it, as in when you have more of interaction with your participants, like you have polls, you create polls for the participant will be more interested in replying. When you have questions for them, when you have flashcards for them, so these things will actually increase your participants, concentration also in a way. When you include some sort of animation, sort of graphics, so your the learner will be more engaged in the entire learning process, rather than just saying and not supporting it with the not using the required teaching methods which you can. Then foster collaborative learning. By this, we mean that along with your technical skills, you're also increasing the soft skills, as in you allow discussion forums. You have discussion forums. So your learner is more engaged in giving out the queries, like they can discuss the queries and concerns. If anyone would have used SWAM portal or NPTEL for that matter, these are few examples wherein the learner gets actually involved in asking the questions to the trainer. So helps in overall a holistic approach rather than just mugging up things. It is more of a creative approach. Right, right. Actually, I've also made my notes. Let me be very honest. So I'm just checking if I've covered the points. Yes. And I would also like to share with you one of the government initiatives, which is BharatNet project, introduced somewhere in 2011, 2012. The objective of the project was to provide internet to across like a 0.25 million panchayats using optical fiber. So I would like to read out the objective of the entire project, that was to provide access to bandwidth in a non-discriminatory manner to all the eligible service providers, to enable them to provide services in rural areas. So this was one BharatNet project mission which was introduced in 2011, and the phase 2 is somewhere about to be achieved by 31st March 2023. The last deadline for the entire project is 2025 to basically provide bandwidth to reach to the rural areas. And adding to it, we all know the National Digital Literacy Mission, which was introduced in 2014, and then it aims at digitally educating at least one member of the of a rural family, at least providing them with that digital literacy. And then digital saksharta abhiyan, all these missions aim at providing digital literacy, creating a more digital empowered society, a knowledge economy, if we could say. And then moving on with the next, that is better conceptual understanding. Like I said, all these points in a way are interrelated, which basically highlight to the fact that your conceptual learning can be increased with the help of the if we use more of technology. So this is what it actually means. Assess students in research process also. This will increase your practical approach towards thinking. And like in the very beginning, when I mentioned that to teach everyone how to increase your criticality, your intensive thinking process. So that is what the role of technology is in education, to help you in understanding things better. Moving on to the next slide, we come on to NEP, that is New Education Policy, and how technology has a role to play in that. As we know, that new education policy given by the Kasturi Ranjan Committee, which highlights on more practical approach, a more practical technical approach towards teaching. And in that, we have the National Education Technology Framework. In the National Technology Framework, it basically a forum, it's basically an autonomous body, a platform for free exchange of ideas on utilization of technology to reinforce the learning process, assessment, planning, and administration. Like it is in the planning stage, it has to be implemented, and it is basically a platform that will help in generation and exchange of ideas. E-libraries, when I say we have the National Digital Library in India, it is a repository where the teachers and the students can access the various books. Then you can also access various online sources like the manuscripts, the journals you want to. So these are the few aspects which are being implemented, which are in a phase wherein they'll be implemented, and they will actually create help in creating a more digitally empowered nation that we talk of. Virtual labs wherein you can remotely take care of the experiments, like more of simulation techniques can be adopted, and it will be easier for the students to you know add more to their knowledge through these labs. Online teaching platform and tools, here I'd like to mention the SWAM portal, which we all know, that is study web of a study web of for active learning for young aspiring minds, introduced in the year 2017 with the cardinal principles of equity and accessibility. And this basically has near about 900 free online courses, which are free of cost until unless you want a certificate for it. And if you want a certificate, then you have to appear for the exam, for which is chargeable. And then you also have online assessment and examinations. For this, just yes, and for this you have your online assessment would be Parak, which is a performance assessment review and analysis of knowledge for holistic development, an initiative of NCERT, basically focusing on the overall creative learning of the students rather than just mugging up or rote learning. And along with the SWAM portal, we also must be aware of Diksha, which is the digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing. It is another initiative of NCERT under the aegis of Ministry of Education. It is another, I recently just downloaded it to see how is it. So you can also download it. I downloaded the app. I have not explored much. You can try downloading it and exploring it, what the app is actually about. But it aims at the overall growth of the learners and the students. And when I talk of Diksha, it also, well, there are different stakeholders involved. Like you have your teachers, the students, and the parents. So it aims at the overall development of all the stakeholders involved. Now, if I talk of teachers, they can keep a tab of, they can map their skills, they can map their entire journey, as in what skill sets they have acquired, if anything is missing, how they can improve on it. And students, they can also do a quick revision of for their examination. So these are few examples of where we see that India, our country, is actually working towards a more digitally empowered nation. And education and technology, in a way, are bi-directional, like they work hand in hand. Because when we talk of education, we talk of actually empowering the entire society, making it a knowledge economy. And technology actually acts as a, as a catalyst where it will help in improving the entire nation in terms of being more digitally empowered. And also there are initiatives by, if we talk of DigiLocker is one, then the Digital India campaign. Under the Digital India campaign, which was introduced in 2015, we had DigiLocker as one, then Beam. All these are basically working towards how we can create a more robust technological framework, so that nobody has to undergo any sort of gaps when we talk of technology, like like I've discussed in the very beginning, related to digital divide. So when I talk of DigiLocker over here, I'd like to mention that DigiLocker is one of the flagship programs for METI, which is Ministry of Information and Electronics Information Technology, and it was introduced somewhere in 2015. It basically helps you in providing soft copy or a soft copy or the documents for your, it could be your license, driving license, or your registration of the vehicle, or your academic mark sheets. You can have it, but one of the mandatory things that you need to have over here is you need to have an Aadhaar card for this. Then Bheem is one. Bheem basically is Bharat Interface for Money, which is an app introduced by the National Payments Corporation of India. So this talks about financial inclusiveness. All these in a way are inclined towards, like I said, the main objective of working towards an economy which is more healthier in terms of technology, wherein we are able to deal with any sort of uh, gaps or any sort of missing pieces in terms of the technology. So this in all is about how technology has been playing a very important role in the past few years. And then coming on to the few of the theories that I'd like to mention over here is the path goal theory. Path goal theory was given by Robert House. And this theory basically says that your leader, the traits of your leader, the behavior of your leader influences the entire team. Now, how is that done? I'd like to give an example over here. One example would be that if your team is feeling a little demotivated, if your team is not able to perform well, and the leader can actually play a very important role, a very crucial role in accelerating or helping the entire team to perform well. And when I talk of the great man theory, it says that leaders are born, they are not made. By this, what we mean is that if I could quote examples over here, like for the torch bearers of our Indian independence, we have Lala Lajpat Rai, Annie Besant, all of these. Now, these people, these freedom fighters, they had qualities which differentiated them. How it differentiated, as in they were able to create history. Not everyone is born with such traits, right? So this is what the great man theory says. And situational theory, it basically focuses on no one size fits all. It was given by Ken Blickar and Paul Hersey. It says that your leadership, like we have been discussing, your leadership is dependent upon the situation. Like it might change depending upon the situation. You might act accordingly. You need not follow a particular style, rather it could vary depending upon what situation you are in. And I think I've been too quick. Any concerns or doubts so far? Anything that I've discussed? And yes, there is a difference between Swam, MOOC, and Swam Prabha. Do we know that? Anyone? Please go ahead. What is Swam? What is MOOC? Like, how is Swam linked to MOOC, and what is NPTEL? What is Swam Prabha? Tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so tell us, enlighten us.
Okay, ma'am. So basically, Swayam is like a online platform जो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन ने हमें दिया है.
Hmm.
बेसिकली इस पर हम ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन, डिजिटल एजुकेशन ले सकते हैं, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट को ऐसा फील हुआ कि बहुत जने स्कूल नहीं जा पा रहे हैं बिकॉज दे आर डूइंग देयर वर्क और जॉब. तो इसी वजह से गवर्नमेंट ने एक प्लेटफॉर्म दिया हमें जिसका नाम स्वयं था. बेसिकली 2014 में ये रिलीज किया गया. उसमें क्या होता है कि जो भी हाई लेवल पर टीचर्स या प्रोफेसर्स बैठे हुए हैं वो अपना कंटेंट डालते हैं ऑन दिस ऐप, और इसके थ्रू हम कहीं पे भी बैठकर विद द एक्सेस ऑफ इंटरनेट हम एजुकेशन ले सकते हैं. और इसका एक और फायदा है कि अगर बाय चांस हमें लगता है कि हमें एग्जाम देना है, वी हैव डन दिस कोर्स और हमें इसका एग्जाम देना है, तो हम इसका एग्जाम भी दे सकते हैं और हमें इसका सर्टिफिकेट भी मिलेगा फ्रॉम मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन. तो अगर वी आर गोइंग फॉर अ इंटरव्यू पर्पस तो वहाँ पे इस सर्टिफिकेट का बहुत यूज कर सकते हैं. उसके बाद एक और एप्लीकेशन जो यूज हुआ वो था स्वयं प्रभा. स्वयं प्रभा इज लाइक जो जैसे हम अपना टीवी पर वो लेते हैं, कनेक्शन लेते हैं. स्वयं प्रभा इज जस्ट लाइक दैट. हमें टीवी पर वो दिया जाएगा, एक जैसे हम सब्सक्राइबर लाइन लेते हैं वैसे दिया जाएगा हमें, और टीवी पर हम वो कोर्स देख सकते हैं या वो कोई पर्टिकुलर कंटेंट दे सकते हैं रिपीट पे भी और वैसे भी. तो दिस वाज स्वयं और स्वयं प्रभा. एंड देन देयर इज मॉक. मॉक मतलब होता है मैसिव ऑनलाइन कोर्सेज. इसमें बेसिकली क्या होता है, ओपन मैसिव ओपन ऑनलाइन कोर्सेज. इसमें बहुत सारे कोर्सेज आपको मिल जाएंगे. द कोर्सेज वी वांट टू डू, सम आर फ्री और कुछ के आपको पे करना पड़ेगा, और सर्टिफिकेट आपको दोनों को मिलेगा आफ्टर गिविंग योर एग्जाम. तो दीज आर ऑल एप्लीकेशन एंड प्लेटफॉर्म जो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ एजुकेशन ने चालू किया है, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन ने इसलिए किया है ताकि जो लोग हैं वो कहीं से भी बैठकर अपनी एजुकेशन ले सकें. बिकॉज कभी कभी क्या होता है, बहुत जगह पे फाइनेंशियल बैकग्राउंड इतना पावरफुल नहीं होता बहुत सारी फैमिलीज का, तो वो इसलिए ही एजुकेशन से वंचित रह जाते हैं क्योंकि दे कैन नॉट पे द फीस. बट यहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन ने टोटल सब चीजें डिजिटली डाल दी. अब इसमें क्या होता है कि कोई भी पर्सन विद जस्ट हेल्प ऑफ इंटरनेट, पैक ऑफ इंटरनेट एजुकेशन ले सकता है. इवन सर्टिफिकेट्स भी अर्न कर सकता है थ्रू दैट. So this is a good step taken by government of India in a field of like education and higher education.
Absolutely, very well explained. And yes, swam और MOOC में क्या कोई difference है या what is it? Swam is MOOC or what? Massive open online course, right? तो
MOOC is Swayam comes under MOOC. There are
absolutely,
so
yes.
many massive online, massive open online courses, and
Hmm.
Swayam is one of them.
Right. Right. And Swayam Prabha, yes, I think 34 direct to home channels हैं जिसमें से जो educational content को हमें broadcast करने में help करता है. Swayam Prabha is that. And MOOC, yes, Swayam is a MOOC, and NPTEL जो है it basically focuses on the engineering related topics for Swayam, right? Okay. So this was one difference, and NPTEL is National Program to Technology Enhanced Learning. And if I'm not wrong, SWAM was introduced in 2017, 9th July 2017. And it is an initiative of the Ministry of Education, and it has certain cardinal principles, which I said, and Lokesh has very well explained that yes, to help in education reaching even the remotest of areas, as in people who are okay on paper, okay then okay. जैसे आई थिंक ऐसा होता है कि चीजें प्लानिंग फेज में तो रहती हैं बट व्हेन दे आर एक्चुअली इम्प्लीमेंटेड इट टेक्स टाइम सो यस इट कुड बी 2014 आल्सो ठीक है okay and then the cardinal principles like I said accessibility equality and quality like focusing on the quality also and it has about more than 900 like close to 900 courses which are
Ma'am,
available for free yes
ma'am, it is not equality, it is equity.
Yes, equity, right. Equity and quality, I said. Equity and quality, like despite any sort of differences, we aim at reaching the people, right? And this is one thing. Next, I hope you're clear with Diksha also. Diksha is digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing, right? And coming back to the leadership styles, I am almost done with it, like path goal theory, great man theory, and situational theory. And this was most of it from my side for today. As I keep it open for further discussions we can have. And lastly, I'd like to say that whenever you apply these leadership theories at workplace, they help you in, increasing your strengths, being an inclusive leader. Being an inclusive leader, by this I mean you're able to lead a heterogeneous group. You are able to empathize a little more. You are able to understand your team and work accordingly. So yes, this was it from my side for today. And I keep the floor open for further discussions. And let's try and take a quick recap if you want. If you want anything to be discussed, we can go ahead with it because we have another 30 minutes or so. Yes, because I want to discuss more on your perspective for today. Like I have in a way covered what ICT has a role to play, and we are all seeing it. So anything that you want to discuss, we can go ahead, we can add to it. It's completely fine. It's not always that I will, have to drag the session up to like completely 1 hour. We can discuss if you want anything else to discuss. We can discuss, like, can't we? Don't we have any topics to discuss on these entire 7 days? Like, you have learned so much. So anything. Use ICT in offline class. Then how will it be offline? ICT in offline class. Technology and infrastructure barrier will be there in rural area. Yes, so I mean, put your audios on. We'll have a picture today. Put like turn on your audios and in fact your videos on as well. We are talking of ICT and we are not using it. Today is the last day. We'll have a picture today. Don't forget that. Give us example of how to use ICT in offline class. Can somebody help me with this question? Like, give us some examples of how to use ICT in offline class. Until unless you want to cheat in an exam. Okay. No option for video. Achha, your option for video is not there. I'll do it for you. Hide non-video participants. So option ही नहीं है. Okay. Pramod sir, how do we turn on the audio? Like audio तो होगा, but video, how do we do that? No, we'll have a photo. But मुझे ये question नहीं समझ में आया. Give us some examples of how to use ICT in offline class. I did not get this question. Yes, because this is the biggest difference between offline and online. Asynchronous and synchronous. See, asynchronous एक चीज होती है, वो होती है सेल्फ पेस्ड. उसमें क्या होता है, जैसे आपने कोई लेक्चर रिकॉर्डेड है, यू आर चेकिंग दैट एट योर ओन पेस. ये टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज है आज के टाइम में कि आप रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर्स भी देख सकते हो और आप एक लाइव क्लास का भी यू कैन बी अ पार्ट ऑफ इट, राइट? तो टेक्नोलॉजी का ये बेनिफिट भी एक तरीके से. हाँ, एंड my bad, Alice, this question you have to refine it a little more. That maybe you want to ask something, but yes, maybe you want to ask something, but refine your question a little more. Like how? Mm-hmm. Yes. No, we'll have a picture. I'm asking where is Pramod sir? Only Pramod sir can help us. Maybe he's not here. Okay. I'm waiting for Lokesh to ask some more interesting questions because he's the one who has actually adhered to my quote, which I just spoke to you all about. That is to inculcate that criticality in your thinking process, right? If there are smart boards, yes, yes, you can use smart boards, exactly. Please go ahead, Lokesh. I am my session was short, but I believe it was in a way informative. It helped you to understand what is digital divide. It helped you to understand the different projects that the government has taken up, the center has taken up, right? And the various initiatives that are going on in alignment with the NEP, that is the new education policy, which we need to know about, right? So I'll unmute Lokesh and let's listen. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Please go ahead. What
Okay.
experience? Yeah.
So basically,
Hmm.
every like in every sessions we describe that government is doing something in a field of technology. So
Hmm.
basically, in 2022, when I was like in an internship for teaching, तो
Hmm.
मैंने वहाँ पे देखा कि there was subject of computer on like curriculum, right? But
Hmm.
जब मैं उस स्कूल में घुसा for teaching, तो इट वाज अ गवर्नमेंट स्कूल. सो बेसिकली जब मैं वहां पे गया तो मुझे ग्राउंड रियलिटी पता चली कि सिर्फ ऑन पेपर ही कंप्यूटर है. व्हेन वी
Hmm.
गो इन अ डेप्थ, वहां पे कोई कंप्यूटर सब्जेक्ट नहीं है. देयर इज नो लैब, देयर इज नो बुक्स. वो मेंशन्ड है 11 12 का कंप्यूटर, बट देयर इज नो कंप्यूटर एंड कंप्यूटर लैब्स. द स्कूल इज इन सिटी, लाइक जहाँ पे एक अर्बन एरिया की हम बात कर रहे हैं, जहाँ पे मैं अपनी टीचिंग देने गया, राइट? तो प्रॉब्लम ये है कि अगर अगर सिटी साइड, अर्बन साइड ही कंप्यूटर नहीं है, टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं है, तो हाउ वी कैन सी कि वो रूरल एरिया में बहुत जल्दी आ जाएगी, राइट? वी आर प्लानिंग लाइक 2024 2025 तक टेक्नोलॉजी हमें रूरल एरिया में भी लगानी है, लाइक ऑप्टिक केबल्स एंड कंप्यूटर्स एंड जो भी इक्विपमेंट्स उसमें यूज होते हैं. बट जो मेरा फेवरेट सब्जेक्ट है कंप्यूटर, वो मैं जब वहां पे पढ़ाने गया तो द स्कूल वाज इन लाइक इन अर्बन एरिया, बट कोई वहां पे ना ही सब्जेक्ट था वहां पे, ना ही उनकी लैब थी, ना ही कोई इक्विपमेंट्स थे. तो इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट कि बच्चों को पढ़ाना कंप्यूटर ऑन अ जस्ट बता के कि कंप्यूटर क्या है. इट इज मच मोर डिफिकल्ट. वहां पे आपको कुछ
Absolutely.
सब्जेक्ट कुछ सब्जेक्ट ऐसे होते हैं जहाँ पे आपको प्रैक्टिकल अप्रोच दिखानी पड़ती है. तो बट
Hmm.
प्रॉब्लम ये है कि ऐसे स्कूल जहाँ पे कंप्यूटर लैब्स नहीं है, इक्विपमेंट्स नहीं है, वहां पे आप कैसे दिखाएंगे बेसिकली. तो थोड़ा सा अभी भी हमारे इंडिया में वी आर ऑन अ डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म, बट चीज आज भी यही है कि बहुत सारे रूरल एरिया में, मोस्टली रूरल एरिया में इक्विपमेंट्स नहीं है, कंप्यूटर्स नहीं है. देयर इज नो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, लैंग्वेज बैरियर्स है. और वी इन एनईपी लाइक वी आर टॉकिंग कि 6 साल जो 6 क्लास में जो बच्चा होगा वो कोडिंग करेगा. ठीक है,
Right.
आई कैन एग्री दैट इट इज पॉसिबल इन अर्बन एरिया, आई कैन टेक. बट चीज ये है कि रूरल एरिया का बच्चा जिसने आज तक, ही इज इन 11th और 12th का, जिसने आज तक कंप्यूटर देखा नहीं है, कंप्यूटर इज नॉट इन हिज और हर डीएनए, तो आप कैसे उसको टेक्नोलॉजी कैसे इतनी जल्दी उसको वो करवाएंगे जो चीज आज तक उस बच्चे ने देखी नहीं है. ही नॉट प्लेड विद दैट थिंग, वो कैसे उस चीज को जल्दी एक्सेस करेगा इतनी जल्दी, लाइक इन 2 या 3 साल. इट
Hmm.
शुड बी देयर टू सी कि मॉनिटर क्या है, कीबोर्ड क्या है, माउस क्या है एटलीस्ट. बट है ही नहीं, तो वो आप कैसे उसको इतनी जल्दी एक्सेस करवाएंगे. तो दिस इज अ थिंग
Absolutely.
व्हाट आई फील कि बहुत ज्यादा एसेंस है इन फील्ड ऑफ एजुकेशन.
See, absolutely. I also agree. You know why? When I go through the content which is available online, a very rosy picture is given कि ये हो रहा है, चीजें बढ़ रही हैं, बट जब ग्राउंड रियलिटी पे जाएं तो things are totally different. It's not happening. Like I'll give an example of the project that I'm associated with, Green Jobs. It says that climate अच्छा हो रहा है, electric vehicles बढ़ रहे हैं, 2070 तक का aim है. Are things actually happening? That is also my concern. When we say that digital divide की हम बात करते हैं, when we try to make technology reach the remotest of areas, is it even reaching? Do they have the sufficient number of towers या सिर्फ paper पे है? तो ये concerns मेरे दिमाग में भी आते हैं. And I also try to figure out that is it actually happening, or is just these are just numbers, these are just trying to in a way console कि हाँ things are happening, but reality is different, है ना? तो I also believe that what we can do in such situations is we can do our bit. We can try to help in our way, whichever way is possible. Like, obviously we cannot help in providing the technology part and everything, but to raising concerns, as in putting across in a way which wherein our voice reaches the masses, as in we are able to reach a larger audience, and we have that support system so that we can actually help कि हमारे हमारे concerns raise करने से actually में चीजें implement होनी start हो. Because honestly there are a lot of loopholes, lot of drawbacks, lot of things which are just on paper. एक पोर्टल है नेशनल करियर सर्विसेज. इट इज अ पोर्टल ऑफ आई थिंक मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ लेबर एंड एम्प्लॉयमेंट. इट एम्स एट प्रोवाइडिंग एम्प्लॉयमेंट. लाइक आप जॉब सर्च, जैसे naukri.com है, लिंक्डइन है, इन पे आप जॉब सर्च करते हो, वैसे ही ये पोर्टल्स भी हैं. But the question is, are you actually reaching the audience? Does people know about you? So I think in when we have such concerns, what can actually help us is that we start educating people. We start educating through our knowledge, through our creativity, through our through in our weapon is, like I said, education is our weapon. We can reach to the audience through our knowledge, and we can try to encourage, as in कि इन सब चीजों की जरूरत है, ये सिर्फ ऑन पेपर ही नहीं, it should be actually implemented. It should be actually there. Because हर किसी को लगता है मेरे पास तो है, why should I be concerned about the other person? There are a lot of concerns. तो कहीं ना कहीं एक support system develop करना, कहीं ना कहीं उन higher authorities तक पहुंचना, it is not easy. It is not easy. It will take time. District Employment Portal. अच्छा, NCS के बारे में you are saying. It's not just what I know about NCS is that it is a free portal. Like, it does not charge anything. Most of the portals that you have, they do not charge anything. And NCS का, it's basically you have these job fair kind of होता है. आप एक बारी इस पे registration कर लो इनकी साइट पे जाके. You create your login credentials, and what happens is that you start getting updates for your job fairs कि किस किस जॉब के लिए आपके पास options हैं. And as per your skill and expertise, you can go and appear for the job fair. And then if you're lucky enough, you'll get one job, you'll land up in one. I just get messages. I have not attended any job fair so far. Yes, sir.
Ma'am,
Hmm.
in Madhya Pradesh, it is known as MP Rozgar, where we just
अच्छा.
go and fill the form, और वहाँ पे
हम्म.
हमें अपनी क्वालिफिकेशन मेंशन करनी होती है कि व्हाट आर आवर क्वालिफिकेशन, और
अच्छा.
उसके बेसिस पर बहुत सारी जॉब्स हमें, मतलब लाइक दे सेंड ऑन व्हाट्सएप एंड यू कैन अप्लाई देयर, और उसके बाद दे टेक अ इंटरव्यू, और आपकी जो भी, अगर इफ दे रिक्वायर्ड, तो
हम्म.
वो आपको हायर कर.
तो इट्स मोर ऑफ एन एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंज ना, जैसे उसी की तरह है
Yeah,
कि,
yeah, yeah,
है ना?
yeah, yeah. Something district employment exchange type.
ओके ओके यस. सो चीजें हैं, बट अब few of my known, my colleagues, they are working in the northeastern regions. They conduct these workshop sessions to promote NCS. तो चीजें हो तो रही हैं, बट आई थिंक जितनी रोजी पिक्चर दिखाई जाती है, जितना उसको अच्छे से दिखाया जाता है, उतना आई डोंट थिंक ग्राउंड रियलिटी इज anyway closer to that. So what we can do is, our weapon is education. Like I said in the very beginning, our the only thing that the only tool that we can use to actually see a change in the society, to create a knowledge economy, is through the knowledge that we have, through the education that we have. And there are gaps in all the missions that have been introduced. Undoubtedly there are gaps. So what we can do is keep a tab of how the changes are taking place. अगर मैं भारतनेट प्रोजेक्ट की बात करूँ, तो it is on the phase 2. Phase 2 will be complete by 31st March. So things are happening. Keep a tab of how it is going, and keep a tab of the other related policies also, other initiatives. Okay. With survey. According to which survey? Okay. So all I can say is that okay. Great. Till 2025, we need 2 crore teachers to train 8 crore students according to the survey. Now see the gap, like 2 crore teachers to train 8 crore students. Where I missed out on this point in the NEP. I did read a few, but this point I did not see. Okay. Okay. So anything else anyone would like to add to the entire session or in relation to the prior sessions that we had? I know the session was short, but this is how it is. ICT leadership as in. Okay. Great. So what did you refer to when you were doing this, you were narrowing down. So did you go through any press information bureau, PIBs को refer किया? कहाँ से ये date, कहाँ से ये number मिला? What was the source?
Ma'am, when they were drafting the NEP 2020, उसमें उन्होंने सर्वे किया था कि कितनी टीचर्स हमारे पास अभी हैं which can teach, और कितनी हमें और ज्यादा टीचर्स चाहिए, क्योंकि क्या हो रहा है कि कम से कम 8 करोड़ जो बच्चे हैं वो स्कूल के बाहर है, राइट, बिकॉज ऑफ डिफरेंट रीजंस. उसमें कल्चरल भी है, फाइनेंशियल, एक फाइनेंशियल बैकग्राउंड भी बहुत बच्चों का कम हो गया था, तो इस वजह से बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स ने उनको स्कूल से बाहर कर दिया. अब तो गवर्नमेंट ने ये सोचा है कि क्यों ना इनको, जो बच्चे हैं हु आर नाउ आउट ऑफ द स्कूल, अब इनको इनसाइड द स्कूल लेके आए. इसके लिए बिकॉज उस टाइम पे, कोविड के टाइम पे, बहुत सारे बच्चे ऐसे हो गए थे जो दे
फीस नहीं
हैव
दे
लेफ्ट
पाए
द
थे.
स्कूल्स, राइट, दे ड्रॉप आउट. अब
ओके.
प्रॉब्लम ये हुआ कि टीचर्स, अब जो बच्चे 8 करोड़ जो अंदर इनसाइड आने वाले हैं, उनके लिए टीचर्स चाहिए बेसिकली. तो इसलिए ही सर्वे किया गया कि हमें इतने बच्चे पढ़ाने के लिए कितनी टीचर्स और चाहिए, राइट. तो उसी सर्वे के बिहाफ में उन्होंने अलग अलग रेशियो के हिसाब से, 30/1 के रेशियो के हिसाब से, 50/1 के रेशियो के हिसाब से उन्होंने एक नंबर दिया है कि हमें कम से कम 8 करोड़ बच्चों को पढ़ाने के लिए 2 करोड़ से ऊपर, 2 करोड़ या 2 करोड़ से ऊपर टीचर्स चाहिए.
राइट.
30/1 रेशियो और 50/1 रेशियो. तो उस हिसाब से आई हैव सेड दैट.
So that's great. That's another piece of information. Okay. So, Alice, it's like, yes, we're almost done with the session. And the whatever information that I shared related to today's topic, I hope it was helpful to each one of you. If you have any other inputs in context to the prior sessions that we had, or in context to anything for today, we can definitely go ahead. I deliberately kept the session this way because now, like when I say that I want to increase the critical aspect, it has to be both ways. I have given my knowledge with you, I've shared it with you. So what I want is that I want to interact a little more with you, considering it's the last day, and I want to understand what actually you have been, how have you actually benefited through the entire sessions that we have discussed. Were you actually able to understand the different aspects of being a leader, and how you can actually, your leadership can have a profound impact on the people that are around you. And this is what my objective for today's session is. So Alice, if you would like to add, as in what did you actually expected when you were joining this course? And now when we're on the final day, did those expectations meet the reality? Do you want to add on something? Will you next time bring more people to the session? So I want to understand that. There should be a time wherein we can have a reflection time, we can have a feedback time, and I want it to be very open. It's completely fine. Were the topics discussed during the entire 7 days helpful for you? Will you actually incorporate them in your day-to-day life? That is my concern, right? So can we go ahead with that? Alice, would like to share? If I may able to yeah,
The
please.
session
please.
was nice. In fact, I like that session where you had shared all those questions for about empathy and all those that seemed to be quite interesting.
Okay.
And yes, and also appreciate those questions that you would pose in the sessions in between, so
Yes.
that we would be participating. And yes, it was an interesting session, though, except for today's was a very short one. But
Yeah.
yes, it was an interesting session.
Exactly.
So, thank you. Yeah.
Exactly, Alice. What I feel is that I discussed few highlights, few key takeaways which can be incorporated when we talk of leadership and ICT. And definitely, this is a very vast thing. When I talk of leadership, personality also comes into the picture, right? Everybody has a different personality. You cannot say that, like I said, when I was talking of situational leadership, the personality or persona, the way you are perceived by others also plays a crucial role. There are a lot of things when I say leadership, lot of parameters. I have tried to cover few wherein you will be able to take care of your relationship, and where you can actually work in a team where you are more effective, you have an impact on your teammates, right? So talking of today's session, it was, I feel that it would have added more to your knowledge in terms of, like we have been discussing with Lokesh, Karthik, and everyone. So it would have added more in terms of getting a view of what is digital divide. As in, I believe most of us tend to not understand the terminologies and just go ahead with the final topic. So understanding the basic terminologies was also important for us. And next, what I expect is, I'll just keep in mind not to keep the session so short next time. But in all the sessions that I've taken so far, I keep one session really short and open for discussion. I believe, Lokesh, if you must remember, in the previous session also, when that was my second time that I was conducting the online training program, I kept one session deliberately short. I keep, like, for the first one also, I usually keep one session short. It also gives you a break, and it also gives us time to discuss apart from the theory and everything we can discuss. So I keep it that way. So I hope it would have helped you, and it will help you in the long run, in the coming days as well. And Karthik, inputs from your side, what were you expecting? What are your key takeaways? I would like to know, and anything that in specific you want to be incorporated, so that next time when I, come up with a session, what should I incorporate?
Ma'am, my key takeaway was about emotional intelligence,
Okay.
which is really, really important.
Mhm.
Uh, the point where IQ stops, EQ begins. That's what I feel. Because IQ has got certain limitations. Beyond certain, we cannot keep enhancing our IQ, but certainly EQ can be enhanced to greater extent. Having said this, uh, in this is not exactly a feedback, but this is an input in Swayam portal.
Mhm.
There is
Mhm.
one particular course about leadership lessons from literature. This is not exactly the title,
Okay.
but there is one course which is conducted by Indian Institute of Management.
Mhm.
Uh, so any one of us who are interested in knowing more about leadership lessons from literature, the examples of classic novel, like there is a novel called Don Quixote, and another example is taken from a famous novel Tughlaq.
Okay.
And many literature examples are taken. In fact, there are certain examples are also taken. I hope I am right. There is an example from the life of Galileo, the scientist.
Acha. Yes,
So
right, right.
yeah, it's a very interesting session. I have attended a few,
Okay.
and anyone of us who are interested in exploring more about leadership can attend that particular course.
Definitely, like I said, the leadership in a way is a very vast topic. There are a lot of other aspects also which can be incorporated. And to support these PPTs, you can definitely go ahead, like with what Karthik has just suggested us, and the courses that are available. So, Karthik, were you able to attend all the modules, or you have just attended, like gone through a few of them, skimmed a few of them, or all?
I have attended most of the modules, ma'am. It was really interesting.
Hmm,
Uh,
I have.
yeah, but I couldn't attend the exam because of few reasons. There is the same professor who speaks in that in
Hmm.
that particular program has written a book. I don't remember the name of the book at this point of time, but I will certainly search in Amazon and I will share with the participants.
Yes, please share it on the group as well. And you can share the link for the course as well, because at times, I am also not able to search for the courses like which I look for. I also tried going ahead with few, but I was more interested in academic writing and organizational behavior, and leadership does come under OB, like the HRM part. So yes, please do share the link of whatever sources that come into your mind.
Sure, sure. ma'am.
Yes, thanks a lot, Karthik. And anyone else? How many? We are just 9 people today. There are very less in number. So we can quickly understand in what way have we all benefited. Thank you so much, Mridul sir. But I would definitely want an input as in how can I refine it a little more, because I am open to that. I really want that kind. I'm looking for that kind of feedback, because when I feel that if I have the courage to understand what can be added more, I think everyone should have that kind of behavior, that kind of perspective, wherein we don't take things like somebody is deliberately pointing out to us or something, because like everyone has highlighted, the emotional intelligence part was quite interactive because of the questionnaire. So one thing is for sure, that the learners enjoy more when things become more interactive. Yes, Alice. Thank you so much. But I will try the option of, okay, there is no option of video. So it was great talking to each one of you. Thank you, Karthik, Alice, Mridul, sir, Lokesh, definitely every one of you for being so interactive throughout the session and helping each one of us to undergo that entire critical thinking process. And next time when I take up a session, I will definitely try to incorporate more of questionnaires and more of things which will keep my learners more engaged. So yes, I hope these sessions were really informative for each one of you, added more to your knowledge. Please try and keep a tab of your performances throughout the sessions, even after the sessions. So all the best to each one of you, and thank you. And I hope to see you in the next sessions with more of information, more of things that will keep you engaged. So see you, each one of you. And yes, with this, I would like to end today's session. See you guys. Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed today's session. Short yet crisp, I believe. I tried to incorporate the most connected topics towards leadership and ICT. Thank you. Thanks to each one of you. And see you all. The certificates update will be given by Pramod sir on the group.